2 people remain in a critical condition following the explosion in the Johannesburg CBD. Only 1 person passed away and has been identified through fingerprints. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi gave an update earlier this afternoon, and some of the busiest streets in the city have been cordoned off, including Lilian Ngoyi Street, which was severely damaged. Emergency services have been assessing the situation, and ENCA reporter Heidi Jokos joins us now for an update. Good afternoon, Heidi. And what's the latest on injuries and those admitted in hospital?
Yes, so what we do understand, Cindy, is that 1 person tragically lost their lives due to what happened yesterday, literally almost 24 hours ago, when an explosion happened here on Bree Street, now known as Lilian Ngoyi Street. What we do understand also is the fact that 8 people still remain in hospital. We also know that 2 people are in critical condition. We've heard of people having broken their legs and arms because of how the taxis were flung. But before we listen to what the Premier had to say, I'm just going to ask my colleague Debogo to just show you. It's obviously a very different scene, but possibly very similar. You have people literally standing by and looking at what's actually going on. We're not entirely sure what they are trying to look at. I think people are just fascinated and trying to establish what is going on and what the latest update is. I do know that somebody does want to engage with us, but before we go to him, I just also want to show you of a recent development. We will eventually get to these visuals. But what we do know is that barbed wire is going to be laid out in certain areas here in Bree Street. So there's extensive barbed wire that has been brought to this particular area. We do know that it's almost on every corner, so possibly in the next 2 to 3 blocks. We do know that about 3 to 4 of these vans have been brought in to obviously cover up this area. We are currently showing you the damage at the moment, and I think that's critical to show. I must say, Cindy, that this morning when we were here, it almost seems as though the road is deteriorating every time I see it. And I'm not sure if it's just from shock or what exactly, is happening here. But it probably is deteriorating even more because of what actually happened here. I mean, the CCTV footage that we were able to find is absolutely mind-blowing to see how that explosion happened and the cars literally flung up in the air and then dropped down. We do know that at the moment we're not exactly sure what the cause of all of this is, but I want us to just listen to what the Premier had to say with regards to those casualties and injuries, and then when we come back we can maybe just engage with some of the community members. Let's listen into what the Premier had to say.
The number of fatalities still remain at 1. It's only 1 person. We've taken the fingerprints of the said individual. They're being assessed and analyzed, and the family members will then be notified. So we've got the fingerprints and we're using our electronic system to track the family of the deceased. Thus far, unless otherwise, we have not received anyone reporting somebody missing. Sorry, I had opportunity to visit the hospital today, and I met 4 of those that are still in hospital at Charlotte Maxeke. There were 2 that were in critical conditions, and our report still confirms that those 2 are still in a critical condition.
And Heidi, as you were saying, there's now spectator value with people being curious. They want to see the damage or what they possibly the visuals that have been on social media. But concerns of a possible or further explosions or just the safety of that area and residents in the city as well. Have you heard whether there are plans to evacuate or that people can essentially stay put at this stage?
Yes, so I think let's just take a walk so we can actually go and speak to the gentleman.
All right, Heidi, your line is breaking up a little there, but if you've just joined us at home, you're watching today on ENCA channel 403 on DSTV, and we're looking at the extent of the damage of that explosion that ripped through Lillian Ngoyi Street, otherwise known as Bree Street, which is the nerve center of the economic hub of South Africa in Johannesburg, where millions of commuters utilize the taxi rank there, Bree Street, and there is the Mary Fitzgerald precinct, Gandhi Square as well, and other areas where companies and government offices operate as well. Let's see if we can try and get hold of Heidi again. Heidi, if you can hear me, I was just asking you in terms of any plans to evacuate residents in that stretch of the city.
Yes, let's just actually get some perspective. I'm not sure why the line broke. Baba, just tell us what you saw yesterday and what happened.
Okay. What happened yesterday, as I was there by Park Station, then by Park Station to West Street and Bree. So I saw like something like a bomb or something what, wow, you understand? And when I was checked, it was around 6:30 to 7 like that. So I see people running, go and check there what happened, understand? So like I saw one of the car, like a taxi, was flying up. I didn't want to go there fast. I don't know what happened. And so as I was staying there, one of the guys we are like hustling with there in Park Station came with me because he was badly injured here there by his arms. So it was a terrible disaster, my sister. So I'm so very sorry about what happened to those people. It's very sad.
Are you not scared being here? I mean, they've told people to evacuate and move away. You're not allowed to use Bree Street for a very long time until they fix this. Are you not scared?
No, like everything, like it's God, who help us, who knows everything about us. I'm not scared at the moment because I don't know what was happening. So like, as I'm hustling here in Joburg, I've been there in Park Station. So there's no jobs at the same time. So I must always come here and like cross the street. You understand? Yeah.
So how is your hustle going to be impacted? Because Bree Street is very important,
yes,
and now they're saying Bree Street is going to be closed for a very long time.
Yes.
How is this going to affect you?
Yeah, it will affect me a lot. But at the same time, because I'm helping people who are traveling by the buses, I'm carrying bags, all those kinds of things, understand? So, yeah, it would be hard. But anyway, I will try my best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We do appreciate it. So I think that's just some perspective of somebody who obviously feels impacted in some way or another. Cindy, I must just speak about the cause of all of this because we don't know. Later, until this moment, we still don't understand what could have caused this. I think what's interesting is that, manholes have been identified to have been somewhat problematic. So we have been told that there have been 3 manholes that have been identified. The Department of Labour has been brought in. It's still very confusing. When I asked the Premier to just further elaborate for me, because I personally don't understand how this could have happened if they have eliminated gas, if they've eliminated the sewer line, if they've eliminated water, electricity from what could have caused this explosion. What actually caused this? And they're trying to bring some perspective to this, and they're saying investigations are still. But this is what preliminary investigations for now are showing.
And Heidi, again, your line is a bit scratchy from my side. It might be fine for people at home, but nonetheless, the information is very sketchy, as you're saying that at this point, we are told that emergency services, the authorities are assessing the cause of the explosion. There had also been reports that it could be an old sewage pipe. Or that, is gas operated. Others also saying that it's old infrastructure with the gold rush. This is infrastructure that has been in place for over centuries that is now requiring maintenance, albeit that over the years, of course, the inclusion of technology and innovation has improved the access to electricity, etc. But for many, many years, South Africa or the country relied on gas as a source of heat. primarily to hospitals and other key amenities as well. So at this stage, as you're saying, we don't know, but the Premier did say that they're investigating and a more comprehensive report will be brought to us. So Heidi Jokos out at Bree Street, Lillian Ngoyi Street, where that massive explosion took place yesterday, leading to destruction. You heard one of the eyewitnesses saying that it's very sad for him to have witnessed, including a friend of his who suffered some injuries during the explosion. We know that one person sadly passed on in that, and 40 others or more have been admitted in hospitals across Gauteng. Let's